Whew. All right, it is another day. It is another day. Dad's checking the fuel. It's also a sad day because two of the crew's leaving.
Yeah.
Jackie is packing. Dad's packing.
Aww.
How could you?
Aww, sad.
I'm joking. I mean, I'm not joking. I'm sad, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. What do the fuel say, Dad?
It is between 3/4 and 7/8.
3/4 and 7/8.
So that would be 13/16 if you want to be accurate.
13/16.
So okay.
Jackie, what do you think?
Aw, I'm sad to go. I'm gonna miss this bunk.
Yeah.
Or this berth.
I can finally have it. Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so empty. You should go look at it.
I will. I'll do it when I get a chance tonight. But how'd you like it?
I had a great experience. This was really fun. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Would you go again?
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
We caught 2 fish, saw dolphins.
Sailed?
Cool. Sailed a lot.
Well, you just gotta come with Captain Wardo on another adventure sometime soon.
Would do again.
Just gonna have them help dock at the fuel dock while we fill up, and then they're gonna take off, explore Charleston for a little bit, and then head back to Seattle. Let's go!
Once they got all of their gear packed and ready, I helped them get safely ashore and prepared to haul in dock lines so that we could continue on our way.
Alright, well, leaving Charleston today, and it's just me and Hans now. We are currently going down the east channel of Charleston Harbor. They're going to be cutting eastward back into the intercoastal waterway to meet back up and head our way towards Norfolk. Taking it off autopilot. Manual steer for a little while through the channel here. And yeah, we'll get there. Got a tug butt off to my starboard side here. Yep, we'll get inside and head over to meet back up with the ICW.
We headed back into the ICW and started the long journey through the rest of South Carolina. At this point, the channel turned into long straightaways, which made the miles seem to go by at a snail's pace. But the hours went by and we kept on going.
Okay, so sit rep. Still going through the ICW. Otherwise known as the ditch, and going through a place called Mimi Island, I believe, or something along those lines. I don't know, but it's really pretty out. Got a bunch of wilderness kind of on my port and starboard side here, and I'll show you on the charts. It's this little canal in front of us that will connect all the way up to Winya Bay, which is actually where we were trying to originally go before we ran out of fuel offshore. So it's kind of funny. This is where we wanted to end up anyway. So we're here, only like a day and a half behind of when we wanted to be. It is what it is. So yeah, once we get out into Winya Bay here, we're gonna head up as far as we can. It's already about 3:16 p.m. So we have about, I don't know, 3.5 hours of usable daylight. Maybe 4 if we decide to go a little bit past sunset. We'll just have to see what the conditions are like, what the waterway is like. pretty awesome actually. Seeing all this, lush forest. I don't know what you call this, like marshland almost. Got all the trees, and then all the grass, and then just marshy. It's everywhere. Yeah, the birds even, which is pretty cool. Really no one around.
As we entered into Winya Bay, our direction to the wind changed, so I decided to put out the head sail and try to get a little more speed to help us along. When you are trying to cover a lot of distance, even a half a knot in speed can make an hours or so difference.
Alright, well Hans and I are going through a spooky forest right now. Look at that. But it's okay, we're above the music and gonna make some headway.
Finally, as the sun was setting, we started our way through the dense and spooky woods of the Whack-A-Mole River and set our anchor for the night.
Well, good morning. Another day in this beautiful anchorage here in South Carolina, and when you know it, the engine doesn't want to start. So Hans is doing some magic to get the starter to actually start. I think the wires are bad, so we have to do some trickery to get it to start. It's really silly, but you know, you'll get that. Is what it is, but beautiful morning.
You get that on these bigger jobs.
Sorry?
You'll get that on these bigger jobs.
We will get that on those bigger jobs. You're right. It's weird. Anyway, we will be setting off here soon once the motor starts. Make another 70, 80 miles today. 12 hours at least. Solid. Maybe more, who knows? Maybe we'll just go all night. All day even. All day and all night.
As the sun rose over the misty woods, we pulled the hook and headed on our way. And while I was on watch for most of the day, Hans made breakfast.
This is amazing. Thank you, Hans.
We came out of the woods and started to get back into populated areas, so we decided to top off our fuel tank.
Unfortunately, our diesel pumps are down at the moment. We can help you out with water or pump out though, but the diesel is down.
Struck out at that place, so we went up a little ways to another marina.
Alright. Alright, my man. Cheers, brother. Appreciate you. The whole thing upstairs.
Alright, y'all going safe travels?
Yep, cheers, man.
We continued on our way through the day, and finally we passed over the state line.
Woo, yeah, we made it to North Carolina. Let's go. Only one more state to go until we get to Norfolk. Gotta get through North Carolina and then Virginia. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yep. Doesn't look that much different than South Carolina, to be honest, but we're here. So, different state. That's for sure. Just pretty though. Alright, so I just got relieved to watch for a little bit. Hans at the helm. And but I'm doing a little research here to looking ahead, planning ahead. There's just shoals and stuff in places, so I just gotta be a little bit more careful. So I'm just looking around and checking through the different areas. That's where we are. Just checking, for bridges, checking for the tides. And luckily, tide is at high tide right now, and tide is going out for mostly the rest of the day with sunlight, which is when we'll be running. So that's good, because hopefully it means that we will get some extra speed from the tide going out to the ocean, but also the tide going out means it will help us with bridge clearances. We shall keep on going. Oh, there's a bridge over there. We'll be good though. Alright, so we're gonna be coming up at the start of a bunch of different inlets coming through North Carolina on the beach that have a lot of shifting shoals, basically shallow areas that shift tidal flow and form land that kind of comes out in the middle of the channel. So we have to run very slowly and carefully through here. Everything and everyone's on Navionics app says to hug the red markers, which will be on our port side. I remember coming through here both ways, and this was a problem still. Granted, this was 3 years ago. Everyone says they've been doing a lot of dredging and stuff like that, so hopefully it'll be a little bit more easy and clear to transit through here, but regardless, still we have to be wary because things shift all the time. That should kind of set the tone for what to expect for the rest of the inlets going through North Carolina here.
Over the next couple of days, the miles racked up and the distance started to close towards Norfolk. We passed many boats going southbound as we put down the miles between us and our destination. Constant early mornings and long days passed by, but we persevered and made it to the end of the coastal run and turned northwards towards Virginia.
Now it is Sunday, and it is a beautiful day.
Yeah, we stayed at the anchorage for about 6 hours.
Yeah, 6 hours. Okay, almost there. Got about an hour and a half-ish or so before we hit Oriental for the night. It's one of my favorite spots. So here we are, close to the ditch. Camera might die, so yeah. We got Hans out there spotting, going out there, and it's pretty dark. We got a bunch of cool houses going along the way. Going about 6'4", 6'5", and should be popping out into Pamlico Center, Neuse River. Should be popping out into the Neuse River here soon. Alright, so just got out of the Neuse River Sound and making our way through the first waterway in the upper North Carolina, and we're currently here. I don't know if you can see, and it's starting to get a little narrow, and then we're gonna make our way north toward the Pamlico River and Pamlico Sound, and go up to the Pungo River, and then hit Belhaven for a quick fuel stop, top off our water tanks, throw away some trash, maybe get some provisions, and then keep heading towards Elizabeth City. Really hoping to be quick with daylight savings being today actually. We lost an hour of daylight, and now sunset is at 5. Sunset's around 5:10, so we're really trying to push to be able to get to Elizabeth City at least around sunset. I think with everything, we can keep the speed at about 7.5 knots at least. We'll be able to get there by around sunset. If we can get a little bit more of some current flow, or if we can put our sails up and get to 8 knots for a little bit, that'd be awesome. But we'll get there when we get there. But it's beautiful here right now. It is pretty. Got a couple of houses, but it's still pretty desolate. making 7.6. Tracking. Autopilot's doing its job. Keeping my job easier. So, yeah, things are good.
As we transited through the narrow waterways, we had to be vigilant as there were sunken trees and logs that were on either side of the channel, sometimes even towards the middle, which made things interesting. It was such a beautiful landscape going through, and as the sun set, we pulled into Elizabeth City and got some rest for our final day of transit. As the dawn started to break across the sky, we set off through the canal towards the Dismal Swamp.
Oh boy, alright. Good morning again. I was probably half asleep when I did this earlier.
Alright, so final day.
But it's a little bit more light out, a little bit more awake. Had my first cup of coffee, so that's good. But yeah, now we're making our way up through the Mosquito Tank River, and then we're heading up to the Dismal Swamp, and it is really, really cold right now. You can kind of see the mist kind of starting to evaporate on the water right now. So it is moist, it's humid, moist. The sun is coming up right over there. And this is very similar, honestly, to the Waccamaw Reserve in South Carolina. Very similar looking, just creepy swampland, marshland. But we're making our way towards the first lock of the Dismal Swamp. It's called the South Lock. And then our time for that is at 8:30. So we will probably be a little early, hopefully, if not right on time, and then take us up to the Dismal Swamp level, go through we will transit the Dismal Swamp, and then go to the North Lock, the Deep Creek Lock, bring us back down to about sea level, and then we'll make our way out to the Chesapeake Waterway, into the Chesapeake Bay at Norfolk. We're really close. So, just have this last little jaunt to do. Definitely not going to be as long of a day, but it'll still be a good day. We'll get there and we'll get everything tied up and finish the delivery. Autopilot's going to turn us in about 3, 2, 1. I still think that's the coolest thing.
We turned back and forth through the twisting canal with the frigid air cutting deep to the bones. At the end of the first canal, we approached the Deep Creek Lock to bring us into the Dismal Swamp. We waited for the locks to open and made ready the boat so that we could transit through.
Stand by. It'll be a port side tie-up when you come in.
Roger, good copy, South Mills. Thank you very much. Standing by on 1316.
As we made our way into the lock system, we slowly rose up about 10 feet to the level of the Dismal Swamp. Once we were there, we headed out down the long straightaway. The Dismal Swamp Canal is a 22-mile-long waterway that has large trees on both sides of the canal that grow outwards towards the middle. So mariners in sailboats must transit with caution as the mast and rigging could get caught up in the overhanging trees and branches. There are many submerged logs and trees underneath the waterline that you cannot see until you bump into them, sometimes very abrupt and loud.
You got trees above and trees below.
Finally, we crossed over into the boat's new home state.
Oh, well, finally made it to Virginia. Just crossed over a little bit ago into Virginia from North Carolina. Still in the Dismal Swamp, still looking out for snags on the bottom and anything else submerged. And then also our rigging up in the trees. So, yeah, just being a constant lookout. We got got about an hour 45 till we get to the locks. And then hopefully we'll probably have an hour to wait for that 1:30 opening. But better to be early than late. So got it on autopilot. It seems like it's a little bit wider. Might have a boat actually. Yeah. We have a catamaran coming down the Dismal Swamp going south, so I will have to hail them. Southbound catamaran, Dismal Swamp. This is northbound sailing vessel Smitten. Come in, please.
Southbound sailing catamaran Manaki.
Good morning, Captain. Let's go up to 17, please. 17. Hey, how's it going? I just see you down there in the distance. We're, like I said, we're coming northbound. When we get close to you, is it cool? Is it okay with you if we pass port to port, going slow?
Yep, sounds good to me.
As we approached the end of the canal, we made it to the final bridge before the last lock.
Made it through the Dismal Swamp, and lo and behold, classic, we gotta wait for a bridge before the lock, and apparently there is a bunch of southbound traffic that have been waiting on the other side of the lock. So the lock operator also works the bridge in front of us, right there. So he has to let the people in southbound and then drive over here, open the bridge, and then he'll probably let them go out first, then have us go through the bridge. He'll drive back to the lock and let us up. But yeah, we're just big chilling. I'm keeping the boat steady. It's thankfully nice and calm. It's also really sunny. It's warm. It's actually the first time I've said that in at least 4 or 5 days. Yeah, so that's nice. Probably change later this evening, but right now the sun is a very nice change of pace. We're almost there. We're almost there. Almost to Norfolk.
With the line of boats past us, we headed solo into the locks and were brought back down to sea level and made our final trek through towards the city.
Whew, oh boy. We just made it through the last lock. That took a while. But it's okay. And we're finally on the way. We are in the final stage, going to the Chesapeake Waterway, and I'm very excited. We still have daylight. Because we can see all the Navy Yard and all the cool stuff that Norfolk has to offer. So, very excited for that. Let's get out of here. Sweet, we did it.
The Chesapeake Waterway through Norfolk was the best way to cap off an amazing journey.
Oh man, well here we are. We finally made it to Norfolk. The sun is setting. Got aircraft carriers being built over there, Navy ships, and we're just passing through my favorite part of the ICW at the very end. If you're going north, you got the whole Navy base here, and you get to see all the cool Navy ships. Oh man, Hans, we made it.
Rock on.
Yep. Yeah, we made it. This is really a nice, cool way to end it.
We were blessed with a beautiful sunset that signaled the end of our final day of the voyage. 1,200 nautical miles from Marathon, Florida to Norfolk, Virginia, with a lot of memories made and stories to be had. At the end of the evening, we pulled into SV Smitten's new home port in Hampton, Virginia.
All right, well, today's the day. Heading back to Seattle, Washington. After a really long trip, but it was a long trip, but good nonetheless. Learned a lot and got a really cool experience, a lot of good stories, and yeah, just was super good. And a damn fine boat on a really, really good boat. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, following along, and I hope that you guys learned a little bit more about sailing and got to follow along in the journey with me. So that's all for me right now, and I'm gonna head back to the West Coast, get a little R&R, and then on to the next. So see you soon. Peace.
If you like this video and any of my other videos, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as it really helps the channel grow, and stay tuned for more ventures to find out where's Wardo.